everyone. It's Lake Missoula Tea Company with their next tea talk. And just like our last one, we've got Gunilla and myself, Heather. Gunilla is our R&D lead, our research and development. She helps to come up with new blends, helps guide, different flavors and whatnot. And I'm one of the owners, and she and I work really closely together to make that happen. And we're here to talk about breakfast blends.
Breakfast blends, yes. We get a lot of questions in the shop. What is the difference between all of the breakfast blends? And we are gonna steep some of our selection up and talk about them.
We've got 4 blends that we're gonna look at today. One is our English breakfast. The other one is an Irish breakfast. The next is a Scottish breakfast. And then we have our Lake Missoula breakfast, which is our own kind of signature breakfast blend. Each one of these blends has a particular attributes that we're shooting for. So our English breakfast is probably the mildest of them. It's going to be kind of malty. The Irish, did I say English or Irish?
You said English.
Okay,
first.
I got it right. Irish is going to be bolder, and you might be tempted to put milk in it. It's designed to be that way. The third one we call our Big Sky Black. It's a Scottish breakfast style. It's very strong, very bold, and you likely are someone that likes your tea with milk if you're drinking that one and you find that one super appealing. The fourth one, like we mentioned, our Lake Missoula breakfast, is quite bold and strong, but it also has a little bit of pu'er. You may or may not be able to detect it, but it does affect the overall flavor. Something to note with breakfast blends is not all, like someone will come into our store and say, oh, hey, I really like English breakfast. And we're like, okay, that's great, but every company has their own English breakfast blend. So you're shooting for the characteristic that I talked about earlier, kind of that maltier, a little bit mild. That's a typical English breakfast blend, but our English breakfast blend is not going to be the same as, let's say, Tetley's, or even, what's another popular company, that Republic of Tea. We're all going to have our own English breakfast. It's all going to, and so you're going to gravitate to the one that you like the best flavor of.
And same goes for the Irish and the Scottish style. It's more of a scale than a specific recipe. So English is the milder, Irish is more brisk and
sharper a little bit too.
And Scottish is the one that gives you hair on the chest.
Yeah. That sometimes you want to add a little sugar or sweetener and a little bit of milk too.
Or if you're into like scotch and cigars and stuff, you'll definitely want to try the Big Sky.
And as you know, Scotch has a little bit of smoke, and so this Scottish breakfast style, our Big Sky Black, you might detect a little bit of smoke, maybe not just a hint of it. Yeah, so that's actually intentional. They're actually blends. I left that part out. That's kind of an important thing.
Yeah.
So that's
blends of different black teas.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Shooting for the same consistent flavor all the time. And so we were making minor adjustments when we get new lots. I'm watching the time. I keep poking my head over here, and I know we've got about another minute. So we're shooting for 3 minutes, like we said. If you look at any of our teas, when you buy a tea from us, all our labels will have the amount that we recommend you start with. We have the water temperature and how long you should steep them. You don't have to take this literally. It gets you out the door. It gets you out, and so you kind of know where to start. And you're like, no, I don't like to brew it that long, or I like to brew it a minute longer. That's great. But this is a good starting point.
It's a suggestion.
Okay, so we've got our 3 minutes, and we're gonna pull out our steepers, our brewers, and then pour a little bit of tea.
I've got these two. I guess so those two don't oversteep, we can pour them in the cup now too, I guess. Okay. Let's start with English breakfast, just so we don't or tasting, yeah. Ooh, it's hot. This is gonna be hard.
Okay. English
breakfast.
The interesting thing about this English breakfast, our English breakfast, is that we use 3 teas from 3 of the farms. We work with many farms, but 3 farms in particular that work really closely with the environment, and they have a strong social component to their business. One of the teas that comes into this particular tea comes from Colombia. Another one comes from, and the Colombian farm really works with local education, entrepreneurship, and also has a strong bird population on their land at the estate. and many universities work with them in that regard. The second tea we use comes from India, from a woman-owned farm, and she does a lot of work with environmental education with children, and also with animals going through her property. She treats it as an animal corridor, in particular elephants. And the third is a new addition for us, and we source tea from the Red Panda Network from Nepal. And so they are working with a farm that they're buying the tea from the farm, and it's helping increase the local economy for that area where red pandas also live. And so it's helping people stay not poaching and not like deforesting their habitat, but being able to work on the farm and be gainfully employed. And so this is something we're actively working on and hoping to increase that economy with that particular farm. So the English breakfast is a combination or a blend of all three of those teas. Yeah, so it's kind of it's unique that way. And it is super malty.
It is. Just a hint of like tannin.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
but not very.
I wouldn't want to put milk in this. I like it just the way it is. Okay, the next.
That's our Irish breakfast.
I was pouring fast because this glass is hot, believe it or not. Yeah, this is a little sharper. This is a little drier too, maybe? Yeah.
Definitely dries my mouth out.
Yeah, it's completely different than the English actually in that regard. Okay, we're moving on to,
The Scottish.
okay, that we call, it's our Big Sky Black Scottish breakfast style.
I do get the smoke.
It lingers
Yeah.
in the
But
back.
It's smoother actually. It's not as tanniny.
It's not as tanniny, and I think the smoke is kind of on the,
Like an umbrella.
like an umbrella in your mouth. Yeah, when you taste it, that's how I feel. It's like a shell a little bit, but a soft shell.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a hard, not a in your face, but like a pillow almost. All right, yeah, I get that.
Oops. And lastly, our late Missoula breakfast with pu'er.
It's got that earthy kind of in it. Yep, I can taste it. Kind of that not musty, but almost like there's something different going on here, but not
Forest
overbearing.
floor, almost.
Almost what?
Forest floor.
Okay,
kinda like-
yeah. By the way, see how we're sipping out of these little cups? Ganilla's mother actually tell us about your mom.
Yeah, my mom, she is a potter. She makes pottery for a living. And last time I was home, I had her make these sample cups for the tea shop and for the warehouse.
Yeah.
So when we QC and do all of our testing at the warehouse, we drink of my mama's little cups.
And when she says she goes home, she's just not going to Kansas, she's actually going to Denmark.
Yeah.
So that's why it's unusual, and and she's been here before, and she's actually made cups for us that we've sold before, but they're all sold out. So she has to come again.
She has to come again.
Yeah,
Yes.
we'll see if we can get her coming this way. If you are particular about an English, an Irish, or any other breakfast tea that you have, please let us know on Instagram, share them, go to our YouTube, like it, share it in ways that your social media ways that you know how to do. Oh, that's really terrible. Like and comment down below with what your favorite breakfast blend is. We'd appreciate it. Gives us good feedback too. Thanks, guys.